How do I develop empathy or EQ? How do I develop it? Should I become aggressive when I feel this emotion rising into my chest and this person has just pressed my button and I feel it like it's grabbed my heart and I cannot let go and I just feel it's coming to my tongue and I'm about to say something, but do I hold back? Can I keep myself calm when I get engaged and triggered like that? What does EQ affect? Self-confidence, persuasion, collaboration, working in a team, taking initiative, adapting to change, leading change. Okay, this is a skill set you must learn. And this is how you become an expert in the ability to understand people. But I want you guys to concentrate on this word. We're going to go through the neural circuits of this word right here, empathy. How empathy actually works with people. And one of the 5 major components under emotional intelligence is empathy. Motivation and empathy are driven by dopamine. And dopamine is the dopaminergic system drives motivation. And it's a general circuit, but it's essential for creating relationships and becoming attached to another person. It's essential. And the autonomic nervous system is actually one of the main components as well to actually getting close to someone, then interacting with someone and getting intimate with someone. So those are the things that connect us as human beings, and we're going to go through that. Okay, so these are the 5 components that affect empathy, or affect emotional intelligence, as we were talking about. So emotional intelligence is being able to pick up on somebody else's emotional state, understanding your own emotionality, and understanding someone else's emotional state and how they feel. Are they scared? Are they compassionate? Are they anxious? Are they joyous? Are they down? Are they up? It's picking up on those emotions. And that is the essence of a conversation and a relationship. Okay. Now, what does EQ affect? Self-confidence, persuasion, collaboration, working in a team, taking initiative, adapting to change, leading change. Okay. This is a skill set you must learn. And if you don't understand how this stuff works, you are going to be in trouble down the line, because when we first started, we said that 98% of your original ideas are not accepted by others. And you have 27 conversations per day. Imagine you can only influence at 2%. This is an essential skill for you to pick up and have in your repertoire. And how you can utilize these skills will give you opportunities in the world. And you begin to understand yourself even further every time you go through a trial, you go through a challenge, you go through a problem, a situation that you have in your life. Okay. Now, neuropsychology has 2 parts. Okay. This is a 2-part brain in terms of what we go through. We have the limbic system and the neocortex. I'm going to go through this a little bit further. Okay. It's the limbic system is the emotional part of who you are. It's literally the emotional center of the brain. And that's a lot of it's controlled by, there's 5 main components from the amygdala, the basal ganglia, and so on and so forth, in terms of how these things come together. Now, it's extremely important that both circuits are actually engaged in an orchestra. Okay, and I'm going to go through that a little bit later, and I'm going to show you the insula and the prefrontal cortex and how they work. And when I go through that, you'll understand the kind of the autonomic nervous system. Now, comparison of EQ, okay, between men and women. Usually men are more empathetic. They usually on average tend to be better in empathy. Sensing how others feel. This is the basis of a relationship. Men are usually on average, men on average tend to manage anxiety, anger, and self-confidence better, okay? They're usually more stable. These are just averages. Some women are better than men. Some men are better than women, but these are just averages. Usually women are more on the anxious side and the neuroticism, okay? The stability factor, okay? Usually that's the case, okay? But this is what science tells us. Okay, now, how do I develop empathy or EQ? How do I develop it? All right, so here, first of all, it needs repetition. You need to constantly be around someone who is empathetic, or you can be coached into it. EQ is extremely important in terms of understanding how to feel before entering a conversation, and how to think before entering conversation. So some of my clients, when they're going into a business meeting or a meeting that they're about to have a difficult conversation, I literally tell them what emotion they should be feeling: be calm, be still, or be alert and be on guard. Okay, and determining that. How do you determine something like that? Then, what kind of cognitive perspective, what kind of cognitive lens should you be in? This is extremely important because this sets the tone to your autonomic nervous system. Am I on high alert? And I'm defensive or I'm aggressive? Or am I on calm, still? I'm just listening. Extremely important how you go into a conversation. Okay, so this is your antecedent emotions and your antecedent thinking. So model what it looks like when it's done well. A person with empathy. Okay, this is extremely important in terms of mimicry. So a lot of our kids, they mimic, okay, our ability. They mimic so many things. It's unbelievable. I'm not going to go into the mirror neurons and how they work, but they actually do. They do that. Okay, and it takes sustained effort. Okay, how do we teach EQ now? Is by, like, a lot of us, we kind of spraying and praying and hoping that something sticks. No, you can't do that. You got to lock into someone else's system. It's imagine this. Imagine that you have a cord, okay, into someone's heart and a cord into someone's brain. You gotta be able to lock in on both systems, their mental, logical states and their emotional, compassionate, angered, merciful state. You got to be able to lock into both. So what does that tell you? It tells you this: when you speak your words are tagged with two things: your logic, they're encompassed, okay, your logic, and your what? Your emotional code. Your mental code and emotional code. Your mental code is your logic. Your emotional code is your emotions and what you've dipped your arrow in. And then when it lands into the other person, your logic will engage the other person's mind. Your emotional sympathy, empathy, sincerity will engage their heart. And people will pick that up. And this is where we have the seesaw. This is where it begins. Okay. So it takes sustained effort. You can't just hope that this stuff just works. It doesn't work like that. Empathy, neural circuits. This is what we talked about last time, but I'm going to go into it a little bit deeper so you guys have it now in front of you and you guys know that it's in the notes and it's right there. Okay. So now the empathy neural circuits are two parts. Okay. This is the prefrontal cortex, which is your frontal decision-making ability. Okay. How we perceive things on the outside and make decisions based on those perceptions. So when I interact with the world, I'm making decisions on how to interact. And at the end of the day, okay, I'm going to use that part of my brain when I interact with someone. So this is a huge component of actually understanding and decoding the information. Think of the four different languages. Think of when somebody is actually giving you mixed messages and you don't know what to do. This system is like locked down. It doesn't know, should I move forward or should I avoid? Should I approach or should I step back? What should I do? This is a major part of how we do things. Should I become aggressive when I feel this emotion rising into my chest and this person has just pressed my button and I feel it like it's grabbed my heart and I cannot let go and I just feel it's coming to my tongue and I'm about to say something, but do I hold back? Can I keep myself calm when I get engaged and triggered like that? Can I do that? So this is the prefrontal cortex working against the limbic system. It's an emotional state. Okay, and it's rising. Then you come in and you say, stop. I'm shutting that down. Okay, that is the prefrontal cortex. It's that muscle. The prefrontal cortex is basically the muscle, the mental muscle that you have in terms of capability and pressing back, holding back, hitting the brakes when you need to. Now, this is one of my favorite parts here. Okay, the insula is this brain region allows us to interocept. Okay, interoception is the ability to pay attention to what is going on the inside our own system. We know exactly what's going on. I feel that emotion rising, okay? And switch our attention to extrocept, meaning what? To the outside. This allows the system to constantly be going back and forth. This is actually a brain region, okay? This is a part of your brain that is real. It actually does this. This is its job, okay? This is the beginning of the coordination of the two individuals' ANS system, your autonomic nervous system. This is a major part of the seesaw. The autonomic nervous system is pretty much your sympathetic and parasympathetic. Calm, alert. Stressed, okay, still. Those systems are a seesaw, okay, as we said before, okay? Paying attention to our feelings while also paying attention to our counterparts' feelings. This is the beginning of the dance. It's a dance. Think of the 4 languages here and how they work. The 4 languages are the tools for this dance. That's how it works, okay? Now, this is this is communicated through the 4 languages that we just said of communication, autonomic matching, okay? Matching or not matching of the ANS, your autonomic nervous system. This is how it works, okay? This is the beginning stages of the empathetic circuits. And this is these are the stages of the empathetic circuits. And I just want you to see now how the 4 languages actually lock in to the biology. So this is how you communicate from the outside to pick up on all these neural signals that are language-based, as we said, of communication, to the inside effect of your own physiology of your body. This is what we're talking about here. And now you guys hopefully can see that when you're getting a red light and a green light, what it can do to these kinds of systems inside of you. So, okay, so I want you to just understand that. What does this mean to feel what another person feels? What does that mean? Okay, this means that their autonomic nervous system is driving your autonomic nervous system or vice versa. You guys either match or mismatch, as we talked about again before. But this is crucial, guys. This is vital. This is a vital principle for how we form attachments and fall in love. And we release the oxytocin, we release the serotonin. These are major like neurotransmitters, neurochemicals that are for attachment and for falling in love, actually. So this is a major component of getting close to someone, being able to build that connection that ultimately builds what, guys? You guys should know the word trust, okay? This is about trust. When you can say, okay, what you need to say, when you can tell yourself, no, I'm not going to do this, okay? I'm going to tell myself no. I'm going to put myself in an indifferent state. I'm not afraid of outcomes. I tell the person the truth because I become honest, because I feel safe. Then from there, I build courage to say the truth. From there, I become more confident. From there, I start taking responsibility because I can say things that are against me or for me. And then I become more just. We talked about those 7 steps. Those are 6. But I'm just saying we talked about those 7 steps before. So now you're seeing from the inside of a conversation that's actually happening inside of you to the outside. Okay? Empathetic matching. Okay, this is when someone you care about is stressed. You can be also what? Stressed. You can match on that level. I've talked to a lot of people with this, and some people think this is the best thing in the world, but there's a dark side to it. Okay, and that's why I'm saying to you, this is a seesaw. Sometimes you want to be like this, and sometimes you want to be like this. Sometimes you want to match. Sometimes you don't want to match. Okay, with somebody stressed, sometimes you want to do what? The best role you could take is what? To be calm. Sometimes they're upset, they're mad, they're anxious. You're calm, collected. Let's say somebody just is about to take an exam and they're not doing the best mentally because they're extremely stressed. You come in and you're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I failed this thing 3 times. You better be careful. And now you're stressing the person even more. So what you want to do is be on the calm side. So you got to release a completely different chemical code on the inside and not allow the situation to actually get to you. They're releasing adrenaline. They're releasing cortisol. They're releasing all these different chemicals that are associated with stress. You're releasing serotonin. You're releasing extremely calm chemical molecules that allow you to stay calm while they're actually nervous. Sometimes so you want to stay on the other side, and sometimes you want to be able to match. Okay. Now, matching emotional tones can be good or bad, like we just said. And these are the neural circuits that we're talking about that really affect you as a human being on the inside. But it has a lot to do with empathy. Empathy is the emotion that, not the emotion, but actually the understanding of someone else's emotions mentally, and sympathizing with someone and empathizing with someone, meaning understanding their mental code and understanding their emotional code. And this is how you become an expert in the ability to understand people. How to help someone develop EQ. Okay, now make sure you want them to improve, because this is something they have to want to do. At the end of the day, if they don't want, then there's nothing you could do. Okay, then an honest self-assessment. They have to be willing to say, like, listen, I'm not honest. I'm not somebody who's trustworthy. Okay, can you handle emotions properly? Some people are very unstable. They get to a certain point, but this is a key component in terms of understanding your own insights. And the basis of all of this is to figure out your own emotional weaknesses and what you need to build. Okay, so what you do is practice. Okay, empathy in sales. I don't want to go into that too much, but this is essential in terms of understanding how people work. Okay, now I'm not going to go into a business right here. I'm going to leave it up just for a second. If you guys want to go back to the video, you guys can actually go through this. But I'll share a study with you guys in terms of how important is empathy just in general life, making it in personal and business relationships. It's essential. It's essential. Like, we don't realize how much this really means when you can actually influence someone to get what you want and also get what they want. And having the ability to go towards conflict, which is necessary conflict, which is turning on the sympathetic nervous system, and then learning how to turn off the sympathetic nervous system and then turn on the sympathetic nervous system, where it causes a different chemical code. So going towards the fight aspect and going towards necessary conflict, then learning how to mend conflict and go like cooling things down and calming things down. Those two systems are right there. That's how it works. So business transactions, personal transactions, how these things work is based on those two systems, the autonomic nervous system. Okay, so now that's there. Okay, PepsiCo did a global study on EQ. And division heads, meaning they're elite in terms of their leadership. And this is the findings. In the heads of divisions, in the head of a division is strong. If the head of the division is strong in 6 or more EQ abilities, emotional intelligence, they outperformed their yearly revenue goals by 15 to 20%. And if they were weak, then they underperformed by 15 to 20%. That's a lot of money. Okay, this is what you guys got to understand. This has been studied over and over and over and over. And again, like last time, some people oppose these ideas, no problem, but the general public or the general science is at this level. So I just want you guys to know that this is extremely important. This is what you want to get to. Okay, and I'll give you a little bit here. There's something called al-ilm al-huduri wal-ilm al-husuli. Al-ilm al-huduri is primarily someone when I have mental abilities, I have a picture of something, and then ilm al-huduri is the awareness of my own pain, my own emotions. When you tell me about your pain, like let's say I'm a doctor and you tell me about pain, then this is actually a knowledge that is based on my mental ability. But then when it becomes emotional, al-ilm al-huduri, okay, that I am aware of my own pain, I'm aware of my own self, I'm aware of my own emotions. Okay, this is essential at these points too. But knowing those two levels, where you want to be at is al-ilm al-huduri. You want to be able to feel that emotion with the other person. You want to try to get it to that level where it's almost like synced. It's very difficult to do sometimes, but I'm telling you, if you begin to understand how somebody else really, really feels, and how they can you can match their emotional state or go against them. It's incredibly powerful for you to be able to get to certain things where you help out people to levels where, man, you would never ever thought you'd be able to do it. But it's to me, it's one of the essential parts of communication, which is the emotional end of it. And that's the hardest language to pick up on, is knowing where somebody else is at emotionally. And some people are better at it, some people are not so good at it. They need to, but it can be developed.